So we'll go ahead and press tab, bring your CameraCreate node, and we will merge this newly created camera with the main branch. Nothing new here. And we will rename just the node. Do not rename the name of the camera, as we want to always use the same camera in the render settings node. So we're just going to change the name of this one. So this one will be front cam. Again, do not change the name in the node itself. Just change the name of the node. So it might be confusing. So here we have our front cam. And if you want to view through this newly created camera, you can do so by clicking at the bottom of your viewer, selecting your root world cam camera. And you can simply position it by pressing Alt and positioning your dragon. I feel like my field of view is a little too intense. I'm just going to tone it down to 20. And now I am going to make sure my translate is okay. Right, translate. Maybe I'll put this one to 0. So it is really nicely centered. And yeah, now I have, maybe I want to do a little more of a close-up. I can decrease this even more. Okay, cool. So now I have my front camera set up. That's perfect. Now I'm going to create another camera, which is going to be my side camera. So I will make sure I'm viewing from this new camera, making sure I am also changing the parameters of that specific node and not the one I was working with previously. I will change this field of view once again. And oh, one thing I forgot to mention from the front camera is I can lock this camera. So it is no longer, I don't need to move it anymore. So it is locked. It is no longer interactive. Then I go back to the parameters of the newly created camera. I will rename that side cam. And I will simply position it using my Alt button, rotating around. I want some sort of wide angle for that one. Maybe I want to catch my full dragon. And here for rotation, I want a perfect 90-degree angle. I want to bring it back in the center. And once I'm happy with the positioning of my camera, I lock it. And this camera is also set up. And I'm going to create the last camera with the CameraCreate node. And this one will be a 3/4 view. So I'll call it quarter cam. And I'm going a bit fast, but you can just pause it, making sure you're following each steps. It's pretty repetitive, so nothing too difficult here. Making sure I'm viewing from the merge, because otherwise you won't see your dragon. And again, I'm just going to go and position it. I can press space to have a full view, full viewer. And there I have my 3/4 view. That looks good. And I am going to lock this one. So as I was saying previously, if I would like to have a quick control to view all these different cameras without having to do this every single time I want to change my camera angle, I could make use of the grass state variable and connect it to the project settings. So how does it work? I am going to create the node that makes it possible. So this node is the VariableSwitch. So I will press tab, start typing VariableSwitch. And here I will need 3 different inputs because I have 3 different cameras. And I will connect each of them to the VariableSwitch. And I will view the parameters of that node. So we need to do 3 things. We need to change the name of the variable name, change the name of the pattern, and then we need to make sure that this information is the same in the variable section here. So first I will name it camera. This is going to be the the variable name. It is case sensitive, so make sure if you're not using any capital letters here, you're not going to be using it in the variable section in the project settings tab. If you do not find the project settings tab, you can just go under tab and bring it from here, or you can also click on the arrow on any tabs that you already have open and load it directly there. Okay, so I will go back to my project settings tab. And I will rename each of the patterns. So the first one, I'm going to click on the wrench icon and change the name. So this is front. This one is side. And this one is quarter. Again, I'm making sure I'm not doing any typos, because those typos, if there is a typo or a capital, then it won't connect the two the graph state variables to your variable switch, and you won't be able to toggle at the top of your interface. So make sure all of this is matching perfectly. Then I will go and click on graph state variable. If it's hidden, just make it appear. Click on add variable. Here you're going to change the name first. This name must match the variable name that you've given in the variable switch. Call this camera. Before pressing OK, make sure your naming is the same. And here, this is getting a bit tricky, but it is easy if you follow step by step. So I am going to type the first pattern. So front, making sure everything is okay. And then I will press enter. And as you see now, it turned yellow and I have a new variable at the top. If I click on the arrow, I only have one pattern, so only one pattern is popping. But see, it doesn't disappear from this variable section. So what we can do is selecting it, erasing it, typing the new pattern, and press enter. And you can see at the top here now that I have a second pattern that's been populated. So it means that what you're doing here is working. And finally, we'll enter the last one. And you will just delete it, type quarter, press enter. And now you're going to have access to all your different camera angle at the top of your interface. And this is what we call GSVs. And in studios, this is also used a lot to switch between your different shots. Then I will connect all of this with the main branch, select all my different camera angles, press G to group them. I'm going to call that camera angle. And I'm also going to add a render settings node. So I'm telling Katana that this is going to be our render cams. Set the renderer to Arnold if it's not your default renderer. You can do some adjustments in your screen window as adjust height to match resolution. Then again, now if you go in your root roll camera, if you're switching between your different cameras, you'll be able to view all your work from your different cameras that you've set up previously. So this is how you set up a variable switch and how you set up camera in Katana. Again, we'll copy this backdrop, Control C, Control V, place it, change the color, and call that camera. And that's it for this part of the tutorial. We've covered how to create 3 different cameras, how to toggle between each of them with the graph state variables, and how we've told Katana to render from this camera with the render settings node.